What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here. Welcome to day 21 of Vlogmas, and we're gonna keep it a little more low-key today, sitting down in front of the computer, and today I'm gonna share with you tricks/tips of how to not go overboard this holiday season. Okay, so some of you may already know this, some of you may not know this, but I do online coaching, and I do my coaching through a personal trainer app, and it's also run by my buddy Trey, who's a transgender guy. He has a bunch of other transgender trainers on there. I don't think strictly through fitness and dieting will you find your happiness. I think it's more of a whole approach, and that's what I do. We talk about your lifestyle, the food choices you're making and why or why not you're making those choices. We talk about movement and how different movement can be good for you, whether it's walking or jogging or some type of working out at the gym or whatever. And then we also talk about our emotional stability and what's going on with our life and how that emotional thing can then leak into our movement, into our food choices, and into our overall feelings of our body and our whole health. So with that being said, for Thanksgiving I sent out a kind of a little newsletter style thing with the 5 tips on how to not overdo it this holiday season. So I figured, you know what, I should share it with you guys. So I'm in front of my computer and we're gonna dive right into them. So number 1 is to plan ahead. You know what days you're going to be surrounded by the ability to fall out of balance and overdo it to a point that you are regretful and you feel down on yourself. So why not take that same knowledge and be more conscious of your movement? It's a good idea to keep it moving the day before and the day after this holiday. Just add a few extra chores in on those days or go for an extra 15 to 20 minute walk each day. Nothing crazy, just an extra stroll. And what I'm pretty much saying is, usually on holidays, we're actually doing a lot less movement than every other day. And so what I'm saying is, if you know that you're gonna be doing less movement, but you're gonna be intaking a higher type of calories that day, then you can use each other to balance one out. So the day before, go for an extra walk, do some extra chores. The day after the holiday, go for an extra walk, do some extra chores. Get some extra movement in. That's gonna prep you before the holiday, and then it's gonna take care of you after the holiday. Number 2, don't skip breakfast. You may have the urge to skip this meal because dinner is early and you know you're gonna wanna eat everything anyway. Sounds logical, but it's not. Have a high protein, low fat, low carb breakfast, something like 4 egg whites with kale, 1 slice of turkey bacon, a slice of sprouted grain bread, or a small apple. And this way you will be feeding your body energy but not be so hungry that at dinner you eat so fast that you're not even present with what you're eating and how much of it. And so what I mean by this is pretty much, don't skip breakfast. So many people will just be like, oh, it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, it's New Year's, I'm gonna drink and eat later. Don't do that, because what it does is you get so hungry, you kind of fast throughout the day, so that when you get to your big meal, you overindulge hardcore. You are so hungry, you eat at a speed that is just not your normal eating. Your eyes are this big, even though your stomach's really still only this big, and it's just not a good setup, because what happens is you just get so hungry that you tend to overindulge. So if you can feed yourself a little bit in the morning, get some energy going, you know, do some of those extra chores we talked about, then later on, yeah, you're still gonna be hungry, but maybe you'll eat a little more consciously instead of just scarfing down food because you haven't eaten in 18 hours. Number 3, it's about the gathering, not just the eating. The holidays are a day to nurture your soul by gathering with family and friends and giving thanks for things in our lives. That includes the relationships in your lives. And that's why you want to spend it with people you love. Make sure that's your main focus. Yes, you eat and you eat together, but focus on the relationships more than the food. Enjoy a nice holiday with some food, not some nice food with a holiday. You're there to gather with people. Make sure you're doing that. You're talking to your uncle, your aunt, you're talking to your grandparents. Like, get to know them. Spend some time just hanging out with them. Gather with them. Don't just gather around the food table and then just talk about all the food. Talk about what's going on in your lives. Share some information with one another. Get to know each other a little bit more. Remember why we're actually gathering. Number 4, grab your granny and go. Just like you want to plan ahead, you also want to make sure you don't turn into a 24-hour lump on a log, as many Irish Italian moms would say. Why not ask your friends and family if anyone wants to go on a 15-minute cruise around the block before dinner? Even if only a few people go, at least you got some people to get out and go for a walk. I would be crazy to ask you to ask people to take a walk directly after dinner, so what you do is ask anybody else if they want to take an extra little 15-minute walk just around the block, even 10 minutes, right before dessert. Sometimes people won't be so inclined to go before dinner, but a lot of times once you say the magic words dessert, people all of a sudden are like, yeah, I'll go for a walk around the block because that means I can eat an extra cookie. You might be able to gather some people before dessert, not after. Don't try to do after. After, everyone is sleepy and they don't want to go, I'm telling you. All right, number 5, be present. Last but far from least, be present. Make sure you're asking yourself, what hunger level are you at? Have a meal, then wait 15 or 20 minutes before you have another round. It's the holidays, the food will be there in 20 minutes. Also, when you make your choices on what you want to eat, try to think about the items on your plate. Does it look balanced? Are there a variety of colors on your plate? How about the serving sizes? Are they regular or a little overindulgent? Are your eyes too big for your belly, or are you actually feeling pretty good about what's on your plate? Be present. Don't let the illusion of overeating get to you. And so what I mean by that is that sometimes we allude to just that, like, you know, oh, I'm just gonna eat all of this food and I'm gonna eat this whole pizza and I'm gonna eat this whole, you know, ice cream. And we have this illusion in our head that we're gonna be really happy and euphoric after it. But 9 out of 10 times you don't feel happy or euphoric. Usually you feel really full and like you don't want to move much. Your belly hurts. Some people get not very good side effects in the bathroom after. And also the next day you tend to really scald yourself for having overindulged the night before. Don't do that. Be present. It's the holidays. It's okay to eat a little more than normal. That's what the holidays are there for, right? Because sometimes we have to eat for our bodies, for fuel, and energy, and sometimes we have to eat because of our minds and our relationships and connections with people, right? Sometimes it's not about the beer and the amount of calories in the beer, but sometimes it's about the beer you're having with your dad because you're at a baseball game and you're spending quality time with him. You know what I mean? Same thing with like cake, you know? Some people are like, oh, I don't eat cake. It's like, if it's your birthday, if it's the holidays, if it's New Year's, like, have a slice of cake. It's okay. One slice of cake, you're not gonna wake up and be a totally different looking person in the mirror, I'm telling you. Same thing if you don't eat the slice of cake. If you don't eat that slice of cake, you're not gonna wake up the next day and be some lean, mean machine. It's just not how it works. Everything happens in time, and it's a progression in both when you losing weight, when you're gaining muscle, when you're gaining weight, you know, everything is a progression. You don't just get it in one shot. Alright, so those are my 5 tips to not overindulge this holiday season. I hope that they helped you guys out, and that kind of brings me on to today's giveaway. So with my online coaching, I am going to offer 50% off to one person, and if you want to enter, make sure you put I want to enter, because it might be for some people and not for others. Right now I do training at $99 a month. We just become friends. I'm telling you, that's pretty much what happens, because I need to know a lot of information about you. I want to help you out. I want to help you achieve your goal. If you want to be entered into that, go ahead, just drop a comment below. Otherwise, aside from that entry, I want to know what are some tips that you guys do during the holiday season to make sure that you don't overindulge and look back at the beginning of January and regret your entire last 90 days of your life. So I want to know, drop a comment below on what you do, and maybe we can all kind of learn from each other here. I'm sure there's plenty of things, I know for a fact there's plenty of things that I could learn and always be growing, and so can you. Otherwise, I will catch you in tomorrow's episode. I'm very excited about tomorrow's episode. It is unlike all the other episodes, and it's gonna be up late also, but it's gonna be well worth it, I promise. Alright guys, catch you tomorrow. Peace.